live again. And now, dearest America, we must say farewell. For there is much work to be done, and the Enclave never rests. Never. Until next time, this is John Henry.
It appears you've been wounded, sir. May I suggest you seek... Allow me to introduce myself. I am here to look after your needs. What can I... Yes, I believe... Speak with more of... Ah, do you know the best contraceptive for old people is nudity? Certainly, I am...
Can't even afford some damn squirrel stew.
Hello, my beautiful America. This is President Eden, and it's time we have a talk. We live in an age of poverty, greed, violence, destruction. Indeed, the very seat of the federal government, Washington, D.C., has been reduced to what is now known as the Capital Wasteland. The Capital Wasteland. How did it come to this, America? How did your leaders allow the most powerful nation on earth to die? The answer is really quite simple. Incompetence. Incompetence at the highest echelons of power. We put our trust, our faith, in half-wits. Our intrepid leaders had everything they wanted: power, wealth, prestige. And it made them lazy, America. Oh, yes, and laziness breeds stupidity. Rest assured, I will not make the mistakes of my predecessors. When John Henry Eden builds a country, he builds it to last. You, my darling America, deserve. Don't you deserve a future free of war, fear, and terrible uncertainty? Of course you do. As President of the United States, you have my solid plan that I will never rest. Never rest. We have
So, are they intelligent? Do they have a leader? Some sort of king? Or priests? Or some sort of scaly community?
Of America, but only together. Together.
I'll bet most people would have just gone in there, guns blazing without half a thought. But not you. You're the best research assistant ever. I've been getting a good signal, but what do you think about them from your first-hand observations of them?
And now, dearest America, we must say farewell. For there is much work to be done. And the enclave
Well, they certainly aren't making tea and having nice chats, obviously.
is John
But
Henry.
maybe you're right. Any social development is minor at best. Some of these observations about their armor and camouflage gave me an idea for reinforced neutral-colored headgear. Here, consider it thanks for not interfering with them. Oh, speaking of which, take these, so you can continue to avoid them in the future. But next time you get badly... Wow, what a great... I'll be waiting here with plenty of bandages for you. So don't worry. Just go get horribly injured. Oh, and be careful. Good to see that old house finally found an owner. I have a...
And you're listening to Enclave
Of course. Which one in particular?
of America. And now, one of my inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry.
If you're wounded, or you've hurt one of your limbs badly, this setup will allow you to heal it up as good as any other wasteland doctor.
Hello, my beautiful America. This is President Eden, and it's time we had
If you feel like filling your place with a whole bunch of music, switch this beautiful pre-war antique on.
I had the best friend a boy could hope for.
This setup is great for experimenting and coming up with all sorts of useful concoctions. It can also be used
From Nod Creek to Hagenville, we roamed, carefree and courageous.
some purchase a theme you can choose from.
Completely inseparable. It was, for a little boy,
Oh, feeling... Remember,
so let me
well then,
America. How many of your children can say the same? How many of this nation's youth are truly happy, truly carefree? Well, we both know the answer, don't we? None. America's children live in a terrifying, meaningless. There is no hope, no happiness. That changes right here, right now. From this
good
day
hunting.
on, the children of this great nation are its highest priority. The Enclave will restore every American school, reinstate every youth program, and offer counseling and financial assistance to any family in need. We will match up destitute, orphan children of the capital wasteland with qualified, eligible adults. We will rebuild the American family as it was meant. Values of our past shall be the foundation of our future. Reflect upon all I have said, my America. Reflect and wait. For soon, this great nation will be reborn. And the Enclave will be its salvation. Until we meet again, this is President Eden signing off.
Well, how do you feel?
Discipline is the soul of an army. It makes small numbers formidable.
Oh, I know it does, dear, but it's for a good cause. Try not to squirm so much while I take notes. Now, how would you... You? At a loss for words? Oh, it's worse than I thought. Luckily, I'm here to patch you up. Now hold still and quit fidgeting. Ugh! How can you be walking around like this? Okay, I even stitched a little smiley face in you to keep up your spirits. It's kind of hard to see from your side, though. Here, take this environment suit of mine. It will help with medical tasks, and it should help prevent the effects of exposure, too. Oh, it's very real and very complete. Of course. Here's your payment. The last chapter. We need to know how large settlements are formed, how to harness the old technology, and I'll need you to get ancient history from a nearby library. Don't be so sure. In this case, I'm talking about Rivet City. It's the most successful survivor settlement around, but no one here really knows how it started. Of course, that's why it's important to know how a place... Oh, now I can't wait for what you find out down there.
This is President Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio, the voice of America. I'm President John Henry Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio. Voice, warmth, reason in this cold, unreason.
Bit of news. Just listen to this. Okay, children. I've got the skinny on the Capital Wasteland's newest, noblest dignitary. That charming cat from Fall 101. Check this out. Got some great news out of the town of Megaton. Turns out the live atomic bomb in the town center has finally been de-sixed for good. The town sheriff, one Lucas Sims, commissioned the one, the only lone wanderer from Vault 101 to disarm the nasty nuke. And the kid delivered. Hey, nice work, 101. Next time you're in the neighborhood, pop into the studio. Old Three Dogs Toaster's been on the fritz. Thanks for listening, children. This is Three Dogs.
Hello again. This is President Eden. I'd like to have a chat. About something we can unquestionably, inescapably. I am referring, of course, to our great national pastime, baseball. Or so it had been. That's right, America. Before we were devastated by atomic war, each state had its own professional baseball team. Imagine. Perfect, cloudless day. The sun is warm, welcoming. And on the horizon, they appear like knights of yore, armed with bats of ash and hickory. Their name,
Oh!
Now, one of my inspirational quotes from the mouth of your president, John Henry Eaton.
Welcome to Rivet City. Please wait while the bridge extends.
Again, America the Magnificent. This is President. You know, there are those. Radical malcontents don't care about you. They don't care about America. All they care about is fulfilling their own selfish desires. Let's take a tally of these agitators, shall we? There are, of course, the raiders, those anarchistic ruffians who roam the wastes, preying on any and all stealing, murdering. The so-called Brotherhood of Steel. Don't be fooled by their pseudo-knightly nonsense or supposed connections to the United States Army. These power-armored Boy Scouts are nothing more than common criminals with access to some antiquated technology. Criminals who have had the audacity to claim this country's most important military installation as their own personal club. Branded outcasts are just as dangerous, even worse.
Hold it right there. State your business in Rivet City. Research, huh? I can't help you there, but you're free to ask around inside. Just don't start any trouble. I suppose. It doesn't work like that. I'm in charge of security. Dr. Lee runs most of everything else. Bannon kinda represents the merchants. He also owns Potomac Attire.
And those who
Bannon and Dr. Lee and I all meet on Monday mornings to talk about citywide issues. It's pretty informal. The council doesn't have much real power.
To return this country to greatness. All you need
She's one of the members of the council. Runs the science lab here. Don't bother her unless it's important. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship. We're the safest, most secure city in the wasteland. Nothing can get in here without our say-so. I don't exactly have time to worry about the history around here, now do I? I've got to worry about what's happening on it now. Carry on, then.
I'm on duty. Make it quick. Chief Harkness meets with Dr. Lee and Bannon to discuss She's some sort of genius. You know, one of those egghead scientist types. Her lab is in the stern end of the ship.
Who are you? Got any psycho? I could really use a fix, but I'm broke. Ha! I run the chem shop, but I'm broke and can't buy chems. That's what Cindy says too, but I got the itch. I need it bad. It's a place to live, safe from raiders and super mutants. With Dr. Lee on our side, maybe we can even begin to rebuild the world. Huh? History? What history? There's no history here, man. Yeah.
This is Enclave Radio with your host, me,
Yes?
President John Henry.
Hello, mister. I'm not supposed to talk to strangers. I'm not supposed to talk to strangers.
I'm on duty. Make it quick.
I'm Janice Kaplinsky, Chief Botanist. What do you need? If it hasn't got to do with the science quarters, I'm probably not the one to ask. And Dr. Lee's so busy, you really shouldn't disturb her work. I did see a man talking to Dr. Lee, but I really shouldn't be discussing it. She's already in a bad mood. I'd hate to make it worse. You should probably just talk to her about it.
Lab is dedicated.
Look, this is a restricted area. I'm tired of telling you people. It's you. My heavens, you look so much like him. You're James's son, aren't you? What are you doing here? You were too young to remember, and I suppose James never spoke of me. Typical. I'm Dr. Madison Lee. I worked with your parents many years ago. Now I run the science lab here in Rivet City. It was all I had left. When your mother died, your father decided to leave with you. He abandoned our work. We had no choice but to do the same. You mean you haven't? I assumed he sent you here. For that matter, aren't you supposed to be in a vault? James said he left you there. Your father is no longer here, and I'd appreciate it if you didn't use that tone with me. Your father insisted that we return to work on Project Purity. I tried telling him too much time has passed. There's no way it would work. Predictably, he refused to listen to me. He says he can prove it will work and headed off to the old lab. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to tell you. It's in the old Jefferson Memorial Building, northwest of here. Please, don't go after him. It was foolish of him to even think about going there alone. suppose so. I worked with them for several years until... What else do you want to know? Yes. Your mother was... Well, she was a good woman. A very dedicated scientist. Your father loved her very much. It was a shame that she died. She had been excited to meet you. James? He was very driven, determined to change the world. Well, we all were back then, I suppose. He was focused on two things, really. Making Project Purity work, and your mother. When she died, I think he gave up. I know he wanted to keep you safe, but I think part of what he did was run away. But it seems that he never really was able to get over the idea. I'm frankly shocked that he waited all this time and wants to try again. Complications from childbirth. None of us were expecting it. We weren't as prepared as we could have been. You have to understand, we were struggling with scavenged, derelict equipment. We did everything we could. Yes, well, I'm sorry it wasn't enough.
I will not make the mistakes of my predecessors. When John Henry Eaton builds a country, he builds it to last.
Look, I don't want to be harsh, but I don't have the resources to support James's foolish endeavors, or you're chasing after him. I'm sorry. I suppose I can spare a few stim packs. It's not much, but it might make things easier for you. It was simple, really. Fresh, clean water for everyone. Such a simple idea, and yet so impossible to realize. The plan was to build a facility that could purify all the water in the tidal basin at once. No radiation, no muck, just clear water. It just turned out to be more difficult than we anticipated. We had the basic principles down, we understood most of the science behind it, but the radiation in the area is so pervasive. Small-scale tests were fine, but anytime we tried to test the process on a larger scale, it was just too much. Maybe if we'd had more time, or better equipment. You happened. It wasn't just you. We had more problems than we could handle already, but your birth is what finally pushed it over the edge. Your father decided that you were more important than everything we'd been working for, and he left. He left all of us. Once he was gone, the Brotherhood decided we weren't worth their time anymore. Without their protection, we had to abandon the Purifier. What? Well, I'm not sure what there is to tell. Your father and I, we worked together for a long time. I think we were really on to something. But then there were complications. The project was abandoned and your father disappeared. I returned here to Rivet City and established the lab you see before you now. This is the Rivet City Science Lab. It's taken many long years to put together, but we've done well for ourselves. Our work on portable fusion power and hydroponics are coming along quite nicely, if not quite according to schedule. I could tell you all about the science lab, but even though I was here near the start, I can't really help with the details of how it all worked out. It all seems like a lifetime ago. I'm afraid I've had a lot of things on my mind since those early days. Good.
Get to solving real problems.
Yes. But Dr. Lee...
Dr. Lee is trying to save lives, and your constant interruptions are interfering with those efforts. Now please, stand aside.
I'm sure the good doctor's work with water purification is fascinating. But if you only knew what was at stake. The technology in that android...
What's at stake? You won't tell me what's at stake. Vagaries and secrecy. A robot's a robot, Zimmer, no matter how shiny the paint job. Now, please.
Ignorance and facetiousness. That's all you people are good for. Shiny paint job indeed. You can't even imagine the common...
Hey there. Look, some of us are trying to get work done here. Anybody coming through here would have to talk to Dr. Lee. Why don't you go bother her about it? She's certainly head and shoulders above most everyone else around here, though that's not saying much. The Weatherly Hotel is a good choice.
You there! What are you, some kind of lab assistant? No, you look a bit more weathered. Are you by any chance for hire? This could be an opportunity of a lifetime for you. I've misplaced some very sensitive property, and you will help me find it. How do I put this in a way you'll understand? All you know of robots are those buckets of bolts, those Mr. Handshakers and whatnot. Well, that's not all a robot can be. You see, in the Commonwealth, we've made artificial persons, synthetic humanoids, programmed to think and feel and do whatever we need. And occasionally, they get confused and wander off. You're helping me retrieve this android, aren't you? I've tracked him this far. He's out there somewhere, in the capital wasteland. He must have done something drastic, like facial surgery and a mind wipe, or else I would have found him by now. It will be no easy task. He may not even realize he's an android. Don't upset him by talking with him. Just come get me immediately. I'll handle it. Of course! I have at my disposal advanced technology from the Commonwealth. I'd be willing to share some of it with you. Just think, you'll be the envy of all your friends. Excellent! Here, listen to this message he sent me. He's mocking me. I swear, I'll make him pay for that. Forget everything you know about robots. Those buckets are mere children's toys compared to the real thing. Androids have fake skin and blood and are programmed to simulate human behavior, like breathing. They can even eat and digest food realistically. Like I've said, I suspect he's had facial reconstruction and possibly even a mind wipe. Search the offices of doctors or techies for android information. If he's come into contact with these people, there may be records. Start with Dr. Preston. He lives on this leaky boat. See if he knows anything. He's a doctor, after all. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy trying to ignore my surroundings. Looks to me like a giant boat ran aground and a bunch of savages moved in. History lesson over. The Commonwealth itself is nothing but a war-ravaged quagmire of violence and despair. Inside the sealed environment of the Institute, however. But the Institute's affairs are none of your concern. Your undeveloped mind couldn't even begin to comprehend what we've accomplished. Maybe he didn't exactly wander off. Maybe he fled. Escaped captivity, as it were, if he began to misinterpret his situation. It's possible my android sought to forget his previous life, wipe away all memory, all guilt, trick himself into believing he really is human. So no, he may not be just an ordinary robot, but he's certainly not human, no matter how badly he wishes it so. I made him. I want him. End of story. Of course you do. Welcome to the Capitol Preserve. Quite an impressive collection, isn't it? Well, don't be shy. Have a look around. Abraham Washington's the name. Curator of this little slice of American history. Ah, a fellow scholar, I see. Each of the documents in this room tells a small but important story about the history of the United States of America. Unfortunately, the greatest prize of all is missing from the collection. In 1776, the Second Judgmental Congress got together and adopted a document drafted by none other than Thomas Jefferson himself. It was the day the United States of America earned its name and secured its place in history. This magnificent achievement took form in the Declaration of Independence. Indeed I do. Without the Declaration, the rest of these relics are almost meaningless. I must have it. Acquire the document for me, and you'll be awarded most handsomely. What do you think? Excellent! You can find the Declaration of Independence in the ruins of the National Archives. In the D.C. ruins, you'll find the National Archives, or what's left of it anyway. The building should contain the document in a protective glass case. Be careful. The place is swarming with super mutants. Here, let me pinpoint its location for you. It's funny now that you ask. I can tell you all about the Capitol, but I really haven't got any idea about Rivet City itself. I can't see how important it is compared to the Capitol's history, but maybe Bannon might know something. He's in the governing council, after all. Please ask then. After all, knowledge is power. Well, this is quite embarrassing, actually. I sent someone like yourself after the Declaration. She did some of the research for me, but now I haven't seen her in a few months. I wouldn't worry about it. Many have died for causes far less grand than what you're about to undertake.
Died of radiation poisoning last week.
Yeah, I heard she was drinking river water.
The ship's water isn't much better.
Yes,
if we
that's
don't get
fine.
fresh water
And yes, I can see you eyeing it. It was so noisy last night. I could hardly sleep.
Maybe a quick fix has something that will help us.
This is President Eden, and you're listening to
That's why I'm glad I didn't.
Voice.
We haven't met. I'm Bannon, proprietor of Potomac Attire and city council member. You should stop by my shop. What you're wearing is dreadful. Dr. Lee, Chief Harkness, and I are all on the council. We meet every Monday morning. I can be very influential, if you know what I mean. Far more than Seagrave Holmes. A threat? No, of course not. Well, maybe. He wants to replace me on the council. He's a shady character. I just can't prove it. Now, if someone were to find something incriminating in his room, well, let's just say I would be very appreciative. Why, I practically set this whole place up. When I got here 12 years ago, it was just a handful of dead-enders squatting in a rusted-out rowboat. Now I'm on the council, and with my leadership, we're the strongest settlement in the wastes. Of course, a few of those dead-enders still stick around, but who'd want to leave? Well, yes, but it was hardly any place of importance until I arrived on the scene. That's all ancient history now. No one would ever care about it. If you insist on wasting your time on that, you could try that bartending old crone down below, Belle Bonnie. Hey.
Have you seen my husband, Polly?
Hey.
This is the Muddy Rudder. Cause any trouble, you'll have to deal with me.
What'll you have?
Beer. And don't let it get empty.
Hey, stranger. Want to buy a girl a drink?
I'm Belle Bonnie, and this is the Muddy Rudder. I'll tell you what I tell all the fresh meat. Don't start anything down here, or I'll have Brock kick your ass. You must be drunk. Are you gonna order or what? Go talk to Vera if you want gossip. I don't... Oh yeah, he's a mess. I'm glad I'm not in Cindy. What'll you have? Another satisfied customer. History? What, not enough shit around here already? You need to dig up more? Don't know if it ever had an official start. It's just been here forever. Stuck in the river and full of assholes. No, but I can damn sure share a bag of get the hell out of my bar. First one's on the house. Now scram. Huh. Why, that lying son of a bitch. He wasn't even born when I got here. Want to know this tub's history? Only person who really knows it is Pinkerton. And most think he's dead or gone. He's holed up in the other half of the ship, and he don't like visitors. He'll set you straight. I'll be right here when you get thirsty. You've had too much, Trini. You can sleep it off in the back.
I'll say when I've had enough. You aren't my mother, Belle, so fuck off.
One America. Now. Dad. Forever. We got a part now, you and I. Don't be sad. The Enclave is working tirelessly to rebuild this great nation. You don't have to. Till next time, this is John Henry Eden signing off.
Good to see you. Don't know you, don't care. Keep it short.
This is Enclave Radio.
Ain't worth the ammo. Just walk away before security.
John Henry. And now, one of my
Hey there.
inspirational quotes. The mouth of your president, John Henry.
I'm looking for troublemakers. Have you seen any?
Discipline is the soul of an army. Make small numbers fall.
Welcome to the Weatherly, Mr. This is the Weatherly Hotel. It's the finest establishment in Rivet City. Ah, the mere...
Everything looks okay here.
Everything looks okay here.
Yes?
This is President Eden, and you're listening to Enclave Radio. Greetings. This is your president, John Henry Eden.
Yes?
Let's chat, shall we? When I was a child, growing up in rural Kentucky, I had the best friend a boy could hope for. My dear old dog, Honey. Oh, the adventures we had. From Knob Creek to Hot carefree and dreams, irresponsible, and
Please excuse me. I help Dr. Lee when she needs equipment moved. I'm no scientist.
so let me ask you about how many of your children, how many of this nation's youth are truly happy? Truly. Well, we both know the answer, don't we? No. America's children live in a terrifying, meaningless existence. There is no happiness. That changes right here, right now. From this moment onward, the children of this great nation are its highest priority. Enclave will restore every American school, reinstate every youth program, and offer counseling and financial assistance to any family in need. We will match up the destitute orphan children of the capital wasteland with qualified, eligible adults. We will rebuild
Yes?
American family as it was, as it was meant to be. Values of our past shall be the foundation of our future. Reflect upon all I have said, my America. Reflect and wait.
Make it quick, will you? I'm coming down.
This great nation will be reborn.
My wife, Cindy, she's all...
Will be
It's...
salvation. Until next time, this is President signing off.
Yes? I really hope you're not thinking of breaking into me.
I'm Cindy. No. Well, I don't really know, to tell the truth. How does any city get started, really? But I've heard Bannon talk about how he was responsible for its success. So I'd ask him about it.
Hello again, America. This is John Henry Eaton, your president.
Hey.
Some things we should hold. That's all right. It's time we discuss something rather important. The issue at hand is, well, my presidency. The question has been raised, I know, as to just how I came to be elected to this most illustrious office. Or whether or not I had been elected at all. To that I must answer, of course. Of course I was elected. Sweet America. Of course. Isn't the right to vote the very foundation of a democracy? Fortunately, in the interest of national security, I'm not at liberty to discuss the details of the election. You understand? Rest assured, I am your president. Because
Hey there.
this great nation resides in my shores. I am your representative. When the time is up, America will elect the president. And the person will have our full faith and
Yes.
confidence to carry our collective values forward in the democracy, dear America. Democracy now and forever. We've got a party, you and I. But don't be sad. The Enclave is working tirelessly to rebuild this great nation. You don't have to. Till we meet again, this is John Henry Eaton signing off.
Yes?
Dearest America, this is your president, John Henry Eaton. Let's chat, shall we? And you know, there are those amongst us who would shudder our hopes for peace, order, and security. These radical malcontents of care. They don't care about America. All they care about is fulfilling their own selfish desires. Let's take a tally of these agitators, shall we? There are, of course, the raiders, those anarchistic ruffians who roam the wastes, preying on any and all steal, murder. The so-called Brotherhood of Steel. Don't be fooled by their pseudo-nightly nonsense. Those connections to the United States Army. These
I'm looking for troublemakers. Have you seen any?
more than common criminals with access to some antiquated technology. Criminals
Tamper with
who
that.
have the audacity to claim this country's most important military installation and
Hello.
their own personal clubhouse. And don't be fooled, America. Those who have led the Brotherhood of Steel, branded outcasts of justice, even more so, being in exile.
Hmm.
The slavers of Paradise Falls. Frighteningly, the radiating ghouls of Underwood.
What else do you want from me?
The hideously mutated super mutants that have completely overrun the entire downtown DC area. Lawlessness, terror, murder. They're all around us. I know. Not belongs to America. Not.
What else do you want from me?
Nice to see you.
Enclave will restore peace, order, and prosperity to this great nation. And those who oppose us will be removed forever. Remember, Enclave is working around the clock to return this country to greatness. All you need is a little patience, a little faith. Till we meet again, this is John Henry Eden signing off.
Hey. It's locked for a reason. Don't get any ideas.
Hey,
What else do you want from me?